Hello and welcome to today's tutorial looking at Nearpod. It's just its basic functionality, mainly the free parts for you to use in your classroom. If you haven't heard of Nearpod, it is a great presentation tool that can collect formative and summative assessments during and after your presentation. So let's take a look. You can get to Nearpod by going to nearpod.com. It's also an app that's available for you both on Google Play and at the iStore. So let's take a look in the menu option. If you click on there, you can create your account. It tells you a little bit more about it. It has a lot of details. I would suggest creating an account using Google or Microsoft. Either way, I already have an account that's made. If you don't have either of those accounts, you can always sign up by using the general form in your email. So I'm going to sign in using Google and selecting my account. Okay, so when you log into Nearpod, it gives you a brief menu: My Library, Explore, Join, Create, and Reports. And we'll go over each tab a little bit. But I actually want to show you what Nearpod is all about. And the best way to do that is to actually show you something that I have created for my class. So here is a Nearpod that I have given at a professional development on formative assessment. And we use Nearpod to learn about formative assessment. And within that, I collected information from teachers that I was presenting to. So let's take a look at a live session and see what that looks like. Okay. And at the same time, I'm going to open up Nearpod. And I'm going to join. So I'm going to have 2 sessions going on at the same time. This pin is unique, as in unique to this particular session. Each session generates a new pin. Okay, here's my name. I'm going to send the information. Thank you. Formative assessment. Okay, so this is what it looks like on the screen when the students are following your Nearpod. You can do this as a live session, or as part of the paid version, you can assign this as homework. Definitely worth the paid version. You can, aside from the code, let's take a look at this for a moment. You can email your presentation, share on social media, generate a link, or share right to your Google Classroom. So easy to share, aside from just using the code. Okay, so here is my end of the Nearpod, and I am going to click the next button. Automatically, I have control over my user's screen. So if I want to move the presentation along, I just click the next button, and the next thing I know, all the students, or in this case, the teachers, are following along with my directives. You can opt to have this on a white screen shown in the entire class, but it's really not necessary considering you have control over what happens in your class. Now, if a student were to do this as the student self-paced, they have the ability to move on to the next slide whenever they are ready. Okay, great. Here we go. This is an open-ended question. When I tell this to my students, even though they include Twitter feed in this, and I'll show you that in a little bit, I like to say, oh, it's like receiving tweets from along the way from participants in the crowd, and you can see everybody's answer. What is really nice about this is that I'm just going to type in any line of text. I wasn't kidding when I said I was going to type in any line of text. Okay, so after the student answers the question, they actually send it to you, and you are able to obtain their answers right when they submit them to you. Okay, so say I have a class here of 15, 20, 30 students, and they pull out information that was very viable to what I was discussing in my presentation, and I wanted to share that with the class. I can simply click share, And every student who is a part of my presentation, the live version, would see this line of text that we can actually generate open discussions about the answers that we received. What else is great is if you actually want to hide the student's name, you can elect to show or hide the student's name. In case you have this up on the front board and you do want to show them as the results are coming in. Okay, this was, again, these are just presentation slides. These were tools that I suggested for users to use. Kahoot, Wiser.me for assessments. And again, you'll see the presentation toggling over to the student screen moves right along. Over to the teacher screen. Say a student comes in late. They can enter this pin at any time and join your session. They will not be able to make up some of the work that has already passed during a live session, but they can surely jump in at any time. Okay, so bouncing back here. This was an example of a draw it exercise. There are 29 peas on a plate. Carlos ate 15 peas. His mother put 7 more peas on the plate. There's a lot of peas going on here. How many peas are on the plate now? Oh boy. So using an iPad, a tablet, a Chromebook, any kind of tool that they wish, they can actually go in and, Common Core is all big about showing your work. It's the best these peas are going to get, and they can actually write in their answer right here. They also can add in text so they can type in their answer. I'm not sure if it's 14 or 15 or what the answer is right now. I'm just showing you the various tools. There's a marker tool that's available. They can actually look for various pictures that they want to use, like they can look for pictures of peas if they don't want to draw peas, for example. But this is just to show you of what a fascinating tool that this can use in your classroom. I have seen teachers use this as to draw me the steps that a butterfly takes from the stage of an egg all the way to its transport to a butterfly. You can use this for math in algebraic equations, so on and so forth, where anywhere the student needs to actually write out or draw their work. When they're done, they send that to you. It says a big thank you. And on my screen, it says awaiting drawings. And once they are received, it takes a little while, considering they're right next to each other. Okay, here we go. I can actually see what the student has submitted. And again, if there's a right answer, or say I want to work through a wrong answer, but I want the class to help correct where the student went wrong anonymously, don't want to embarrass any students, I click share on the board, and that answer is shared with each individual device. Okay. Moving along. Okay, so formative assessment in action. Which of the following tools do you want to learn about? This is actually a poll. They do have multiple choice questions built right into Nearpod, and we'll be learning about that in creating a Nearpod. Okay, so just to show you, and it generates my answers here. Just like in the quiz portion, it would tell me which students answered correctly, which students answered what questions wrong. And at the end of the Nearpod, it gives me an actual individual report for each student who signed up. Okay, so that was the basics of Nearpod. When you are done with your live version of the Nearpod, you need to, in the drop-down menu where it states Nearpod, go down to End Lesson. Yes, we want to end the lesson. And it'll take you back to this screen here. So what you could do from here is actually click on the menu icon and look at the generated reports. It also emails you a report for the lesson that just finished. So here we go. Formative assessment. Here's the generate reports from each session. As you see, I have run this several times. And my one student So I don't want to pull up anybody's names. And it tells you how I answered, how much I got right. There was no quiz for this feature. I answered the open-ended question. I took the poll. I did the draw it. Of course, you would have to go in and grade these individually, unless it's the quiz. It gives you questions, but this tells you how much participation was taking place during the Nearpod. Okay, so I hope that helps you understand the power behind Nearpod before we go into creating how to actually create a Nearpod. And then I'm going to show you the library, how you could take presentations that are already done and turn them into something that you would like to create for your classroom.